job, just getting by with 9 kids and a wife. I've been working, man, damn near all my life. Keep on working, long as my 2 hands are fed to you. I drink a little beer in the tavern, sing a little bit of these working man blues. I keep my nose to the grindstone, work hard every day. Get a little tight on the weekend, after I draw my pay, go back to working. Come Monday morning, I'm right back with the crew. I drink a little beer in the tavern, sing a little bit of these working man blues. Sometimes I think about leaving, doing a little bumming around, throwing my bills out the window, catch a train to another town, go back to working. Gotta buy my kids a brand new pair of shoes. I drink a little beer in the evening, cry a little bit of these working man blues. Well, hey, hey, the working man like me ain't never been on the welfare. That's one place I won't be, 'cause I'll be working, long as my 2 hands are fed to use. I drink a little beer in the tavern, sing a little bit of these working man blues. I drink a little beer in the tavern, cry a little bit of these working man blues. I'm a working man. I'm a working man. I'm a working man.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Panks. I'll be your host today. Welcome to Sunday Assembly Nashville. Doing one of our last few virtual assemblies. Been doing this little experiment for a while. Sunday Assembly was founded back a few years ago. We usually meet in person and do things a little different starting last year. Our theme today is success. Means different things to different people. We've heard different definitions, different discussions about it. It might give you some different ideas and some things to think about this time, maybe in a different way. Our host, our guest speaker today is going to be Don Thomason, and he'll be having some thought-provoking discussion there. So we'll also have a great reading by one of our very own Kat Gomez. She'll be doing our reading for us. We'll also have a Trying My Best by Josh Brown and some great music. As you just saw, it's a great pre-recorded collaboration video we've done. And then we have a few more songs coming up for you. Be really fun, interesting. So what is Sunday Assembly? A few things to think about for Sunday Assembly. So we have a motto. It's shared by all assemblies. There's 3 parts to it: live better, help often, wonder more. Live better. What is that? Well, we aim to provide inspiring, thought-provoking, and practical ideas that help people to live the lives they want to lead and to be the people they want to be. Help often. Assemblies are communities of action, building lives of purpose, encouraging us all to help everyone who needs it to support each other. Wonder more. Hearing talks, singing as one, listening to readings, and even playing games helped us to connect with each other in the awesome world we live in. We're not here to tell you how to live. We're here to help you be the best version of you that you can be. Sunday Assembly. We are 100% celebration of life. We're born from nothing. We go to nothing. Let's enjoy it together. Sunday Assembly has no doctrine. We have no set texts, so we can make use of wisdom from all sources. Have no deity. We don't do supernatural. We won't tell you you're wrong if you do. We're radically inclusive. Everyone is welcome, regardless of their beliefs. This is a place of love that is open and accepting. It's free to attend. We're a registered 501c3 nonprofit and volunteer run. We ask for donations to cover cost and support our community work. We have a community mission through our action heroes. That's all of you, all of us. We'll be a force for good. Sunday Assembly. It's independent. We do not accept sponsorship or promote outside businesses, organizations, or services. It's here to stay. With your involvement, Sunday Assembly will make the world a better place. We won't tell you how to live, but we will try to help you do it as well as you can. And remember point one. The Sunday Assembly is a celebration of the one life we know we have. So, a little bit about our theme today, and then we'll move on to some other great things. So our theme today is success. Sometimes it means different things. And I'll have a few Steve Jobs quotes to wrap us up at the end. So let's go on to a couple of other interesting things. So Loie, if you wouldn't mind showing the how to do Zoom closed captioning instructions. Loie, I know you can't see her. She's the one helping us with PowerPoint in the background, one of our great volunteers. So for those of you that would like to do Zoom closed captioning, it's an option there. You just go down the bottom right hand of your Zoom window, click on the live transcript, and you can show subtitles just like you would in TV show or movies, or you can do the view full transcript and it'll be on the side there. Thanks, Loie. Let's go back to the poll results. So poll 1, what's the worst job you've ever had? Fast food. I get that. Let's see, what's a few other ones that we have? Let's see. Sorry, just make it so I can see a little bit better. Refrigerated meat packing factory. That could be interesting. Tanning salon, cleaning sweaty tanning beds. Cashier at a grocery store. Babysitting. Copying videotapes. Sounds interesting. Dish Network tech support. Tech support. How may I help you? Did you unplug it? Plug it back in. Somebody said all of them. Just all of them. Somebody worked at a bait shop and they didn't like that they had to start at 4:30 a.m. and a few other ones in there. So fun. We'll have a couple of other polls as we go through the assembly. Just be sure to check that out. We'll bring the results back up on screen to share with everyone as well. All right, Loie, thank you for that. Next, we're going to go to we're going to go to our reading section. So our next reader that we're going to have up is Kat Gomez. She's going to be doing a reading for you. I'll let her introduce the title and the author, and take it away, Kat.
Hello. It is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kat. Appreciate that. Lovely reading. Kind of makes you think about some things differently. So let's go to our next section. So we're going to bring up Don Thomason to talk in just a moment. So Don, I apologize. I do not have your bio in front of me. I've totally failed you. I'll get that real quick. Also, while I'm bringing that up, we're going to do breakout rooms right after Don talks. So after Don talks, we'll do breakout rooms. Josh or Clay will go ahead. They'll be building them, and then they will send us there. And then that'll last about 5 or 6 minutes. We'll be in groups of 3 to 5. Then we'll bring you back after you've had some time in the breakout rooms to discuss some things that Don talked about. And then we'll go on to the next part of assembly. So Don's bio. So Don Thomason, he's a certified pharmacy tech in Nashville and a singer who performs regionally. He's held a variety of occupations that sometimes aligned with his educational background. He has an MS from Oklahoma State University and a BS from University of Kentucky. Before working in the health sector, he managed a farm, held professional positions with Kentucky state government and Washburn University, and spent 2 decades in radio as on-air voiceover talent. You'll be able to tell that right away from when you hear him start speaking. He lives in Nashville with his wife Kathy, 2 pets, and an abundance of houseplants. All right. Thanks, Don. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Jason. Here we are from a bedroom where a lot of people have been working, not this bedroom, but similar bedrooms all over during the pandemic. And I'll be talking a little bit about that in a few moments. Now, I've been before this community before as a host, as a reader, and with a couple of trying my best, but I did not ever expect to be a speaker for our assembly. Like, what would I know enough about to be an expert or an authority to presume that I could talk to the community about? I have those 2 degrees. Neither of them are related to the job I have now. Well, I was moved by an idea on how we put expectations on our worth based on the kinds of jobs that we have, and was trying to find a speaker who could talk on the subject. And it was brought to my attention that I had lived this topic virtually all of my life, and particularly now. I knew generally what I wanted to have said, and perhaps I should be the one to talk about it. So here I am. Now, when we meet someone for the first time, the question that immediately follows, "What's your name?" is almost always, "What do you do?" In our culture, the question, "What do you do?" may as well be, "Who are you?" For it is looked at as an identifier every bit as much as bloodline or where you come from. Now, how does Billy Joel's character in Piano Man describe the cast of characters in the bar that's listening to him? You've got Paul in real estate, Davy in the Navy, a waitress practicing politics, businessman who slowly gets stoned. But it's not simply identity that tends to get defined by one's work. Vocation is a stand-in for worth, just as a single person's date on Valentine's Day in hope of getting laid is a stand-in for love. There are complex interrelationships between the kind of job that we have and how we are seen by others, and also how we see ourselves. It is how one's worth gets defined in our society by one's job that I want to mainly focus on here. What got me started down this road on this topic was an article I came across in the publication Refinery 29 titled The Dream Job is Dead. Long live the good enough job. The article starts with an account of a 24-year-old named Demi who worked their way up in a retail job to a leadership position. Demi makes $50,000 a year and has no student loan debt. It's a job that's both well paid and, despite the leadership role, one that Demi doesn't have to take home with him. So Demi focuses on the quality of life aspects that the resources of their job makes possible, from Demi's relationship and time with friends to traveling and being able to do most grocery shopping at a nearby farmer's market. I can not just afford to do it, Demi said, but I have the time and the energy to do it as well. This account of Demi's experience resonated with me. I've been a pharmacy technician for over 2 decades, virtually all in the retail sector. For the last 2 years, I've worked at a closed door pharmacy specializing in fertility medications. The job has a different mix of stresses and pressures, but overall, they've been less grinding than retail pharmacy, and the compensation has been significantly better than any job I've ever had. And like Demi, my job doesn't come home with me. It's become more and more apparent the longer I'm in this job that I can focus more on how to live my best life and less than I ever have on finances. Okay, so Demi's experience had caught my attention for some of the similarities to mine. Then I'm struck by a quite unexpected revelation. Not everyone around Demi views the job as such a positive, with Demi saying, I feel like I've been defending my job since I got it. What are we talking about here? In all practical aspects of this job, having work that is not all consuming, that gives you not just the resources, but also the space and the energy to pursue your desires, that sounds like a pretty sweet gig that, believe me, not everybody gets to experience. And yet, Demi gets some flack about their job because it cannot possibly be satisfying to work a job where the work itself does not give profound fulfillment, does not give your life meaning. This is our society's infatuation with the dream job. It's a good-sized dollop of Michael J. Fox in The Secret of My Success, with a bit of Michael Douglas's Gordon Gekko character in Wall Street. Remember, greed is good. It's the ambition to reach for the brass ring in life, and that brass ring has an office address. There's an assumption in society that your work must be where you get meaning and life fulfillment exclusively. If you have what is considered a menial job, your value and your worth are regarded to a lower degree, even more so if you do not work. In my view, these are the societal expectations for work and success. Your work is your identity, and dream job is the only goal. The dream job, by default, must be your passion in life. You will willingly put up with poor work conditions because it's your dream job, and low paying or lower rung job means lower personal status. Now, there are underlying assumptions in society that serve to reinforce the tendency to glorify the pursuit of the dream job. Those assumptions have to do with the lower personal status of certain jobs seen as less desirable and the disrepute associated with poverty in general. Now, add these to the hustle mentality that we have admired to the point of excess in this country, and you have powerful disincentives to see what we might call ordinary jobs in a positive light. For those of you going to college, these pressures start before you even walk onto campus with what major you choose. Let me offer a reason why. I vividly remember the severe recession of the early 1980s, right after I got my bachelor's degree. I went back 2 years later to work on my master's degree, and by then, college students were predominantly pursuing computer science and accounting degrees because of their perceived employability. Majoring in liberal arts was seen as a poor choice. But even without something like the 80s recession or the more recent Great Recession, there is pressure on students to pick a major that directly leads to a job. Don't waste your student loan money. Go for a major that guarantees employment, and the higher dollar, the better. With so much of this expectation that the function of higher education is simply higher pay, it's not a great distance to the further expectation that the highest and best use of one's talents, particularly if you have a degree, is to pursue the dream job. Going back to the Refinery 29 article, its author, Rainsford Stauffer, offered this observation. Embedded in the consciousness of the American workforce is the question, if you're not pursuing your dream job, what are you doing with your life? Now, pursuing your passion in a job is not necessarily valued in society, but the concept of pursuing your dream job is. Remember the line in the movie Working Girl, when Melanie Griffith gets the professional level job at the movie's end and Joan Cusack announces loudly to the secretarial pool, she made it out. She made it all the way out. Apologies for my New York accent. When you're in a low status job or in an economically depressed area, it's hard to reach escape velocity. So the swing for the fences dynamic that the dream job represents can internalize putting up with the stresses of a job and with any of the job's shortcomings or inequalities as the prices one would gladly pay and should gladly pay to get a hold of the brass ring of a plum job. There's also this idea we have that satisfying jobs cannot be comfortable. They cannot give meaning or fulfillment without being difficult, challenging, or having a measure of hardship. They cannot be the right job unless they extract something from inside you that combines with the job to give your life meaning and purpose. As one of my good friends from Sunday Assembly Nashville put it to me once, hardship is seen as valor. Research in the area of cultural work narratives is being done by Dr. Aaron Chech, Associate Professor in the Department of Sociology at the University of Michigan. Chech has said, there's a moralization of that idea that the best way to be a person in the labor market, especially if you have a degree, is to find work that you love and deal with the kinds of sacrifices that entails. It's such a narrow way to think about making meaning in our lives. Why is work the place that we're supposed to find meaning? Chech's work has a focus on what she calls the passion principle. She describes it as the belief that self-expressive, fulfilling work should be the central guiding principle for career decision-making for college-going and college-educated career aspirants, even over and above financial stability. This principle holds that while there are tedious aspects of all jobs, alignment of work with one's passion will make one's working hours fulfilling. If this alignment is in place, any instances of being overworked or being underpaid are negated, made all worth it by one's passion for the job. So the notion that passion for a job would make you look over objective shortcomings of a job, that sets up the potential, if not the likelihood, for societal expectation that a worker should shut up and smile if they grab the brass ring. The cultural fixation on the dream job, whether for the fat paycheck or the passion principle, impacts perception of work, what work means for those workers who get the dream job and for those walking another path. As I mentioned earlier, there are underlying assumptions in our culture that reinforce fixation on the dream job. And I also said that Dr. Chech touched on the moralization of work expectations. American society has built a popular myth of rugged self-reliance, of pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. We concocted a morality play with the carrot of praise for the corner office and the stick of disapproval and sometimes shame for the rest. The American workplace is regarded as a crucible to either forge workers into industry champions or expose those without the right stuff to scorn by their peers. Our workplace laws reflect these values. For instance, the United States is the only developed country in the world without a single legally required paid vacation day or holiday. By contrast, every country in the European Union has, by law, at least 4 work weeks of paid vacation. Austria, which guarantees workers the most time off, has a legal minimum of 22 paid vacations. That's a minimum, 22 paid vacation days, plus 13 paid holidays each year. As it happens, the average private sector U.S. worker receives 16 paid vacation days and holidays, but it's not a requirement, which results in 1 in 4 Americans not having a single paid day off. There's a car in the parking lot at my workplace with a bumper sticker that reads, "Nobody cares, work harder." This has been the traditional essence of the larger culture's viewpoint towards working. Go for the big job. If you fall short, it's on you. My career path has been far from the linear progression we're encouraged to expect and idealize, so I rarely talk about it. Not only have I changed careers more than once, I've had the necessity to work 2 jobs for about 25 of my adult working years. In his book, The Sorrow of Young Werther, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe wrote, "The human race is a monotonous affair. Most people spend the greatest part of their time working in order to live, and what little freedom remains so fills them with fear that they seek out any and every means to be rid of it." Boy, do I know that feeling. It can be a physically felt guilt to have free time when you feel the weight of working in order to live. You feel you need to rid yourself of free time, to be working every spare moment, or you are not doing what you should be doing for yourself or your household. Nobody cares. Work harder, right? I've often felt driven to and oddly comforted by working as many hours in a second job as I could, because in the setting of mere sustenance, activity felt like productivity. I was reassured in the belief that I was doing all I could to make it through. In this setting, I may have not felt a great amount of worth having to work multiple jobs, but in the setting of expectations around me, I felt worthy. Judgment of those at the bottom, while also reinforcing the foundation of the dream job fixation, has a grinding effect on those trying to avoid the bottom. A social media post by one of our Sunday Assembly Nashville members is as responsible for me speaking today as that Refinery 29 article. It was a repost of observations by a Mexican American from small town Oklahoma, and it said in part, "In my town, wealth wasn't associated with greed, but with hard work and inherent goodness. The stigma against poverty is incredibly strong. It is shameful to be poor." Nobody cares. Work harder. But my friends, that's changing. Credit millennials in large part. As in so many other aspects of contemporary life, they see the world with fresh eyes and a refreshing, utter disregard for prejudices of the past. They do not have the old mindset that hardship is seen as valor. I don't know how many social media memes I've seen lately that's been a variation of this. Working a 60-hour week is not a flex. The numbers of those like Demi from the article who see the job for its resources and enjoyment away from work as the point appear to be growing at an accelerating rate after the forced pause of the pandemic. An NPR story recently examined the work till you drop culture of young Wall Street bankers working their 18-hour days not around the support of their colleagues, but over Zoom from their bedrooms during COVID. Famously highly paid right out of college, this is a class of workers who got a universally recognized dream job, but started to see the intense burdens that went with it in a different light during 2020. Exhaustion combined with isolation fed anxiety and depression, and for some, the high compensation wasn't enough to justify staying. I'm sure most of you are aware that people have been slow to return to work in many sectors of the workforce, particularly restaurants. We've heard the current debate over whether the extra $300 per week unemployment payment is what's responsible. But contrary to what some politicians and pundits say, there are more powerful factors than that $300. A record 4 million workers quit their jobs in April, according to the Labor Department. I'll quote an NPR story on that dramatic increase in resignations. It said, "As pandemic life recedes in the United States, people are leaving their jobs in search of more money, more flexibility, and more happiness. Many are rethinking what work means to them, how they are valued, and how they spend their time." Worth and fulfillment are not tied to the pay rate in these instances, but to the working environment. Expectations are changing after the world paused and with a new generation emerging. The NPR story on resignation said remote work during the pandemic, with its flexibility that was previously unattainable, changed a lot of perspectives. From being in a more relaxed home atmosphere to living wherever you want and or avoiding a commute. One software developer told NPR that while he has to pay the bills, work now needs to accommodate life. Others have decided to find working conditions that are better than what they'd been conditioned to put up with. This is particularly true of the restaurant, bar, and hotel sector, which led the way in those April resignations reported by the Labor Department. These workers who were laid off or on unemployment during 2020 got a chance to experience life without a 50 to 60-hour work week, decided that was not a flex, and pursued work elsewhere in the economy. I know for myself, the 50-plus hour work week is a thing of the past, as is my former emotional embrace of it. I found myself in a revelation a few weekends ago while on a day off excursion to explore a part of the city I hadn't been to, realizing that I was becoming thoroughly comfortable with leisure time, experiencing a sense of serenity, not due to the satisfaction with my job, but to its resources that afford me the leisure. In closing, I offer this quote from Bertrand Russell. One of the symptoms of an approaching nervous breakdown is the belief that one's work is terribly important. Between a generational shift and a virus putting the world on hold, the way we see work in our lives is undergoing a transformation. Cultural expectations of the worth and fulfillment flowing from our job are shifting as we reevaluate what is truly important: prestige and dutiful job devotion, or the resources and the space to pursue our best life. Thank you for your time. I'll turn it back over to Jason.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate that. A lot of good words. I'll have a few more as we go to my closing thoughts. So on the next section we're going to do is we're going to go to breakout rooms. So in just a moment, Josh is going to divide us up. We'll go to those breakout rooms. I'll set a timer for about 5 or 6 minutes and we'll come back. Those that are not participating in that or just on watching us and joining us via Zoom, there will be a poll up that Loey has. You can participate in that and we'll see some results of that after we get back. All right. Thanks, Josh. Take us out to breakouts. everybody. Good to see everybody's smiling faces there. We're going to show some of those poll results that we were all just talking about. Everybody was participating in. So what's the most important to you at a job? We have some people there. People can still participate for a little bit. So it looks like purposeful work, pay, and NA retired. Looks like purposeful work's about 2/3 of the way there. So looks like that's what people find is most important. Great. Thank you, Loie. All right. So the next part of our assembly is something we call Try My Best. It's where one of our fellow assemblers comes up and shares something that's going on with them, something that they've struggled with, something challenge they've overcome, or just something that they wanted to share with the group. And this month's Try My Best is Josh Brown. Please welcome Josh.
I am worthy. I am enough. I am loved. In 2016, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in history. And so far, having a bachelor's degree has done me no good in the workforce. In 2018, during my pursuit of a master's degree in teaching, I was 3 credits short of fulfilling the degree program, but I could not pass the EdTPA, which is essentially a portfolio displaying how I understand prior research in secondary education and apply that knowledge to my own teaching methods. And in November 2019, I lost a job and did not immediately start looking for another to ensure that I would be available for one of my then partners who was expecting. Of course, after she delivered in January 2020, I started looking again, but 2020 and my being immunocompromised didn't help that any at all. And so I tell you all of this to help illustrate where I have been in relation to the workforce and how perspective has shaped how I saw myself, how I have seen myself these past couple of years. And I got so caught up in the what ifs and might have beens in response to decisions that I had made all throughout my life up to this point that my self-esteem just tanked. And I know that many of us have this tendency to connect any one small mistake to a bunch of other things. And I hit downward spirals. And I felt shame for not being to financially contribute to my household. Capitalist culture teaches us that our worth is intrinsically tied to what we earn. And my childhood trauma and religious trauma taught me that my worth was tied into what I could do and or that I just wasn't worth anything on my own. So all of this together created a negative internal narrative within myself. And that no matter how loud others' truths about my worth were, my lies to myself were always louder. And in that process, I completely glossed over good things that I have done and accomplished just because they did not have a positive financial impact. Even if I limit my focus to my involvement with my chosen family, Sunday Assembly Nashville, well, not to toot my own horn, but toot toot. I've been our virtual assembly Zoom co-host for most of the time that we've been virtual. I have been part of our Wonder More committee, which plans our assemblies. And as of a month and a half ago, I have been entrusted to lead the committee as its chairperson. Last year, I even became a member of the board of Sunday Assembly Nashville. And during all of that, I have received public encouragement, support, and very kind words from people who did not have to do that, but were in a position in which those words were of great benefit to me. And all of this while being the best husband, partner, friend, whatever that I can be in my world at large. And so my wife, Gwen, created a mantra for me to help remind myself of all of this, that I am worthy, I am enough, and I am loved. Now, I did find it interesting that The Road Not Taken was chosen for our reading this morning, because at first glance, it seems to be, extolling this virtue of perseverance and taking the harder path. And I don't have time for, detailed literary analysis at this point, but ultimately Frost's point is rather that both paths have equal merit, and that we just don't know what the results of our choices are going to be, nor can we go back and really know what might have been. But at the end of the day, our perspective, how we choose to tell the story of where we've been, what brought us to this place, that allows us to reframe our choices. Now, I may not have a job with my bachelor's degree, but my course of study led me to look at the Christian Bible through the lens of a historian, and ultimately led to my deconversion. My master's degree work simply revealed that teaching teenagers in our current educational system isn't for me. As comedian Christopher Titus once said, I don't fail, I succeed at finding what doesn't work. And my not immediately looking for a job after losing one? Well, everything might not happen for a purpose, but everything does happen for a reason. And sometimes that reason is that we just make bad decisions sometimes. So now what? I recently started a part-time job to provide some flexibility in my schedule. And I'm taking this opportunity to start exploring my options and continuing my education along my original track of becoming a history professor. And I don't even know what all of the consequences of my life's choices are. And I may never know all of them. But my decisions do not make me unworthy. What I can't do or not provide does not make me unworthy. I am worthy. I am enough. I am loved. Just because.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. That was good. Thanks for sharing. All right. The next part we're going to go into will be let's see, poll results. We've already seen that. Excellent. So we're going to go to the moment of mindfulness. Just for a moment, just kind of take a moment to reflect on things that Don shared in his talk, or even what Josh shared in his Try My Best. After that moment, it'll be about a minute. Then we're going to go into a special song done by Stephen Phelps. He'll be playing that live for us. And then we'll do the next thing after that, another poll. All right.
Thank you. 3, 2, 1. There's a little boy out in the driveway, his basketball in hand, saying, "Daddy, can we play a little one-on-one?" Pat him on the back and say, "Not now, son, I'm a busy man." His sister's out on the sidewalk, setting up a lemonade stand. "Hey, Daddy, don't you want to buy a glass from me?" You say, "Maybe later, can't you see I'm a busy man?" You gotta go, gotta run, hit it hard and get it done. Everyone can see you're going far. You got responsibilities, crazy schedule that you keep. And when you say the time's a wasting, you don't know how right you are. Busy man. There's a woman in the bedroom crying, saying, "I thought we had plans." You say, "Honey, I'm sorry, I'll make it up when the job slows down and I'm not such a busy man." Gotta run, gotta go, hit it hard and get it done. Everyone can see you're going far. You got responsibilities, busy schedule that you keep. And when you say the time's a wasting, you don't know how right you are. Busy man. Have you ever seen a headstone with these words? "If only I had spent more time at work." There's a call one day from the office, they need you down in Birmingham. You say, "No way, the weekend's mine. I got plans with the kids and a date with my wife. I'm a busy man." Gotta go, gotta run, take a break and have some fun. Those who love you most say you've come far. Got some new priorities in that schedule that you keep. And when you say the time's a wasting, now you know how right you are. Busy man. Busy man.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate that. Good job. All right. And now we're going to go to, we're going to do another poll. We're going to start that. So how do you feel about universal basic income? You can go ahead and start replying to that. And Josh will put in the Menti website and code again in the Zoom chat for everyone. And we'll come back to some of those results in just a bit. So let's move on to some announcements time. So we got a lot of good stuff, some exciting things even. You can go to the next slides, Loie. Thank you. So we're a registered 501c3 nonprofit. You know, we have a few bit of expenses and things, website, tools, resources, providing sometimes coffee and tea when we're back in person or doing in-person events, renting a space, running a website, social medias and other things. So if you'd like to contribute, there's a QR code there or the website. You can also become a monthly member. Easy enough to do that with PayPal, just pick an amount. It'll come out every month. Easy to go. Thank you, Loie. You go to the next one. So if you'd like to get involved, you know, we're all volunteer run. So if you want to get involved in production, audio, video type things, you can see me. Hey, if you'd like to be part of the band or music or sing a song or help write or help organize things for band, see Stephen Phelps. We talked about our different mottos. Each of those mottos is led by a team. There's a whole team around that. So live better, that'd be Brenda Quinn. She's also our president. Help often, if you'd like to participate in that, that'd be Kate Turner. Wonder more, Josh Brown's heading up that one. And for some of our social medias and promotions, Tom Kunish. We're also looking for some help on that. Speaking of promotions, do you do art, got art, you're creative, like to make things? We're looking for some ideas for some of our graphics and promotion materials for August, September, and October. And there are some themes there on screen for you. Inquire within. You can message either me or you can message Tom, or just if you're not sure where to go, we also have a secret Sunday assembly page. You can hit us up on there. Thanks, Lo. You can go to the next one. So on our social medias, we have a few different places you can reach us. We have our public Facebook page, just Sunday Assembly Nashville. We also have a secret Sunday Assembly Nashville page. That one's a secret group. So it's only accessible for those that are that are accepted in, which we're open to anyone who's a member, a regular attendee of Sunday Assembly Nashville, whether it's to our monthly assemblies or one of our SMOOPs, one of our small groups. You can just friend someone that's already in assembly and ask to be invited. There's a good place if you want to have discussions that maybe you don't want to be have fully open on the internet for everyone. You just want to ask about something that's tough that's going on, or just share and celebrate things just with our own group. You feel free to do that there in our secret Sunday Assembly page. We're also on Twitter and we're also on Instagram. Thanks, Loie. So fun stuff. Starting to get back in person and do things. We're doing another picnic. This time it's a little different. It's summertime. Why not do picnic by the pool? Brenda, she had a great idea. We're going to do picnic by the pool on July 18th at 11 a.m. Just go to meetup.com and look for Sunday Assembly Nashville. You'll see the details there. You can join in on the group and get details as far as the time, the address, and some other info. Cool. Thank you, Loie. So next month, on August 8th, we have our theme will be storytelling. Our guest will be Sean Witzel. He'll be speaking for us. So that'll be a good one to join virtually next month. And Loie, the next one, big announcement, September SAN in person. Yay. I hear Stephen cheering, Georgia cheering. It's great. We're going to have more info updated on Meetup. The Meetup is not quite updated yet. We just got some details and went and visited a venue. It'll be for those that were with us, March 2020. It was our last in person one we did. It's going to be at the same venue down at the riverfront, the Cumberland River venue. Plenty of parking. We're working our best to coordinate so there's no conflicts with sports games or anything. So it should be pretty easy to get in. Great venue, beautiful view. You know, we'll do the usual potluck afterwards and all that. We'll have space for childcare as well, if that's something you'd like. All right, thank you, Loie. So just a few closing thoughts. Don't want to rehash too much of what Don already went through, and Josh as well. Thinking of like my own journey a little bit of what is work and worth. You know, I've definitely worked jobs. For example, when I was on the road touring as a touring sound engineer, I definitely worked those 60, 70-hour weeks. And it was definitely like, you're not staying up as late as everyone else, you know, why aren't you getting up early as everyone else, you know? I've also worked jobs that, you know, I really didn't like them. Did them just because I need to pay bills, move on. I've also worked some jobs I really liked. What I found over time is a lot of what like Don was saying and Josh was saying, that finding something that's fulfilling, finding something that I enjoy, not just, oh, I really like this thing, I want to do it. Now I have to do all these other bad things that I don't like that goes with it. Is that something that we need to do anymore? Meaning and self-value, meaning and self-esteem, I think comes from fulfilling the values that you hold. So what do you value? I just want to wrap up and close on a quote from one of my favorite people ever, Steve Jobs. And then after that, we'll do a song with Stephen and Georgia again. And they'll close us out on I Believe in Good, our classic that we like to close with. And then we'll see y'all in the next month after that. So Steve Jobs was asked to give the commencement speech at Stanford University in 2005. One phrase, one bit of a quote that he had in there that really stuck out to me, kind of ties in what we're talking about today. So one thing he said was, so Steve Jobs talking, for the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm doing today? And whenever that answer has been no, for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. So that's my thought I'll leave you with, the challenge, something ever changing and going. All right. Appreciate you. It was my pleasure to host this month. My first one, probably my only one, because usually I'm pushing a whole lot of buttons in the back of the room. All right. And now, Stephen and Georgia, take it away.
1. Thank you, Jason. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe in good. Oh, I believe in good. I believe in being good and doing good just for goodness sake. Good makes the whole world better. Good is great, and I believe in harmony. Respect for all humanity. I believe that we will find the only truth we need, living this one life by this one creed. I believe in good. I believe in good. Give you a chance to sing along. Here we go. I believe in good. Oh, I believe in good. I believe in being good and doing good just for goodness sake. Good makes the whole world better. Good is great, and I believe in harmony. Respect for all humanity. I believe that we will find the only truth we need, living this one life by this one creed. I believe in good. I believe in good. I believe in good. I believe in good.
Thanks. See you on the next one.